Today's 10-minute fix brought to you by the local small town farm auto parts store. Battery cable terminals. So this tractor has these little crappy wraparound things, which you can see are more than bottomed out and are still loose. So I've gotten in the habit of having to grab them and wiggle them every now and then to try to get them in a bind and get a good connection so I can start the tractor. And this morning, no sooner than I showed up on a job, it broke. I went to wiggle it and it just straight broke off. So I went ahead and just strapped the tractor right back down, put the ramps back up, and here we are in town. Got these new dime a dozen little battery clamps, and we're gonna clamp it right on. I'm not even gonna cut that old brass crimp off. I'm gonna clamp it right over top that one, tighten this puppy down on the battery post, and we're done. I've already done the other side, which is actually the one that broke originally, started the tractor. It's working, so I'm gonna replace this one and hopefully not have this stupid problem anymore. Well, I don't remember. It's been, I think, about 2 weeks since I got all the trees planted. Made a video about getting all those in the ground, but just wandered out here to kind of see because our weather's been warming up and I was curious if any of them were waking up. And sure enough, this is my black cherry. I'm so excited about this. If you guys remember from the planting video, basically this tree and walnut were kind of the catalyst to this whole thing, wanting to do this whole project of starting to seed our own hardwoods down here, plant our own hardwoods. So this one, that was the very first black cherry that I planted. It had a huge root mass on it. And you can see just how thick it is at the bottom. This sucker was way more than a 1-year seedling. But anyway, there's another one here behind it, starting to wake up pretty good. And all down through, it's starting to push out really well. The Eastern Red Cedar, you know, it's an evergreen, but it's kind of semi-dormant. But it seems to be responding. The seedlings are standing up well, and they're greening up a little bit. So I think they're doing okay. The Osage Orange, if you can see that just barely, get the camera to focus behind it. That one's actually got leaves out, which I just now noticed that one. The first one I actually noticed was, for whatever reason, I noticed this one over here. Oh, it's blurry again. But it had the leaves come out from the crotch, and each crotch basically has a thorn and then a leaf bud. So I noticed that one because I saw those lime green little buds. But yeah, this one's actually already, this one here is actually already leafing out. So that's the only activity that I'm seeing so far on them waking up. Of course, most of these species are more of a northern variety, don't wake up this fast. But you know, getting them down here and getting them in a warm soil. We've had a couple of rains to help soak them in. And now that I look through the Osage Orange, I'm seeing more and more of it. But I look through everything else. Of course, this is our not all oak, which is the red oak. And then our hickory, maple, walnut, and white oak. I don't see anything swamp white oak. I don't see anything over there breaking out just yet. But again, that's okay. They're a slower growing hardwood. So we'll see. They'll push here. I'd say in the next week, we'll really start to see something going on them. But other than that, just figured I'd wander out here. You know, it pays to just kind of wander around the garden every now and then. The peaches have pretty much bloomed and already leafed out. Still a couple of them blooming, but I noticed this beautiful iris. I think it's iris here, just randomly. I think I made a video about that, I don't know, a year or so ago. When I went through and planted all the blackberry root cuttings, about around that same time I planted just these random, we bought these bulbs on sale. They were super cheap. They were like 75% off because they were doing Christmas clearance. Here's another one about to break out. But I got, you know, just volunteer clover coming up everywhere. Of course, all my radishes that keep coming back and coming back. All those daikon radish. I actually really like having that because it's just a really resilient plant. And, you know, it's good for soil tilth. So you know, anywhere that it pops up, I just let it go. Somebody's probably gonna say it's invasive, but anyway, I mostly wanted to talk about the trees. Let's see what we got on our peach tree here. This one's been blooming for a while. I had a couple little peaches. There's one. There's one. We'll see. We'll see if any of them stick. This thing's bloomed 3 or 4 times throughout the course of the winter, as has all the rest of my peaches. I think this one over here, I think this is a nectarine, and I really hope so because I love nectarines more than peaches. I can't remember, and of course the tree tag's gone. This thing bloomed really, really heavy. I don't see any fruit set on it just yet. Of course, it needs some pruning work. This original top all died out of it, but I want to eventually I'll make this be my new main leader to try to square the tree up a little bit, and eventually, once this one's better established, I'm taking this whole limb off. I'm gonna leave this limb for the year, I think, at least, see what it'll do for fruit. Yeah, because I still want this to be, I want it to be a little bit, I want it to get up to about, I don't know, 40 inches to 4 feet, somewhere before I really put a fork in it. I don't want to, I was gonna say I could prune those and I could graft them back onto here, but I don't want to have my fork to be just quite that low. I want to be able to mow around the bottom real easy and not struggle with that. So anyway, not to get off topic, I really just wanted to brag about the hardwoods. They're starting to wake up. I'm super, super excited. I did go through, I don't think I mentioned, I did go through over here, and you can see I mulched in around them, just wood chips, a real light layer of wood chips. Didn't go real deep, and I didn't pile up dirt. I don't want to put too much dirt against the base, potentially suffocate them. So I did wood chips. The wood chips will breathe really well. But they'll also help retain moisture and insulate the ground a little bit. So I need to get through these. I just did what I could that day before I ran out of time. But I need to get through all of these, get them chipped in really well also. Otherwise, when it starts to warm up this summer, we're going to be in trouble. So yeah, that's it. Cool. Hardwoods are waking up. Super excited.